Welcome, everybody. This is Gamesoverplastic, episode number 13, A Baker's Dozen. I think that's like a really old saying. Isn't that 13? I think it is.
It is 13, yeah.
Yeah.
We are back again for a very special episode. As always, I am Midnight. I am joined by my two lovely co-hosts here. We have the man who's living in paradise right now. He's on vacation, but he's still here to record for the show because priorities are important. Sean Mason, Hawaii's own. How you doing, sir?
Great. Yeah, I'm living life, living in paradise right now. Yeah. It's pretty amazing here. Like, I don't want to leave. I still have basically another week, so I'm pretty excited. Eating a lot of fish.
Ooh.
Dude, fish from like when you're on the water is just the best. You cannot.
Everything is so. I've had so much fish. I've had so much fresh fruit. The pineapple here is insane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so good here.
Nice. I'm pretty sure like the Dole
Yeah, the Dole
owns like a
Station,
giant
yeah.
island and stuff. Yeah, where they grow
Yeah.
pineapples. Yeah, man, you got all the freshest of pineapples and seafood out there, huh?
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal here. Everything's so good here. Gosh,
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
All
One of my favorite movies is Disney movies is set in Hawaii.
Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, it's not. It's not on this island though. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Nice. And of course, we have last but not least, we have the man who's fixing air conditioners all day and playing games a little bit at night. He does graphics, he does music, he does it all. Hodge, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Excited to be here. I was staying in my brother's house for the last month because him and his wife are on vacation. So this morning I was moving all my crap back over to my other brother's house. So I got here and I didn't have like a shirt on. I was just sitting here like getting ready, just sweating my ass off. But now I'm ready. But I'm gonna go to the gym after this, so I didn't shower anyway. So it doesn't matter.
There
Also,
you go. Hey, the health is wealth. Defining Duke shirt, which was designed by who designed that?
Sean Mason did.
Sean Mason,
Oh yeah,
king of graphics.
definitely. Yeah, definitely did that. Yeah,
Had to do it.
You know
Rep
what?
our buddy Cog
Yeah. If I
and Maddie,
designed
but
that
he hasn't been
shirt,
on here, so
if I designed a shirt like that, it'd be like stick figures.
I'd buy it. I would buy it.
So Sean, if you want to, tell us a little bit what you've been getting up to in Hawaii. How are things out there, huh? Make us jealous.
Pretty amazing. Just hanging out by the pool, hanging out by the beach. The beach is literally down, like it's like a minute walk right from the hotel. Going back and forth between the beach and the pool. There's this awesome place right on the beach. It's called Steak Shack, right? And literally, you can buy like a bowl of steak. I had it yesterday. It was so good. And okay, I've had so much rice too here. There's so much rice, and it's like, remember at school, like they serve it in like the ice cream scoop, like the ice cream
Mhm.
scoop rice. It's like that here, but it's like they do it on like it's designed like that. It is so good. I've had so much fish, like I said. Oh my gosh. Went to Pearl Harbor. That was pretty cool. Very moving. We were there for hours. I went on to the USS Missouri, which is like one of the battleships there, and that was in Pearl. That was like during World War II, and it was huge. I got to go throughout the entire boat. That was pretty cool. Swam with sharks yesterday. That was awesome. It was really rough. Like the ocean was really rough because it was like raining kind of, but like not. It was raining when we got like way out in the ocean, but not like where we are here. And the water was really rough. That like one of the people on the boat got sick. It was like he couldn't go, and he was pretty disappointed. But yeah, we swam with sharks, and it was like there were so many of them. It was so cool. Like I was like, this is insane.
And ice cream.
And then, yeah, been getting ice cream every night. The ice cream here is ridiculous. The
It
food
looks
here is
so
insane. The food here is insane. The fruit is to die for because it's like the Dole Plantation is like down the street. It's awesome. A lot of Dragon Ball references. I can't pronounce half the street names here. It's pretty awesome. I'm reading the menu. I know, right? I'm reading like menus at restaurants, and I'm like, I can't pronounce. I don't even know what I'm saying here. Everyone's really friendly though. Went to Diamond Head, which is like a giant mountain. Hike that. That was so cool. Pretty cool. Like cool area. yeah, overall, it's just like it's a great time. I'm actually leaving Oahu today, though. We're going to Maui now,
Mm.
which is gonna be awesome. I can't wait because I heard Maui's like sweet. The only thing I'm not a big fan of here is that there are a lot of little kids at this hotel because I guess Oahu is it's like the more touristy area, and it's like a lot of families come here, so there's like a lot of little kids. And I'm just gonna say some of the parenting here is not that great. It's more of like let your kids do whatever you want, and kids running into me. I'm
They're
like,
busy
guys,
getting drunk at the pool, probably.
basically, oh, I've seen a lot of drunk people at the pool. It's quite funny. A couple ambulance who have come here taking people out because they're so dehydrated, and I'm like, guys, come on.
Dang.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Have you
overall,
gone?
it's been a great time.
Have you gone for any runs, like just kind of out in like the somewhat wildernessy areas and like just seen the sights?
I mean, we've just like walked around and stuff. I told Claire told me she didn't want me running, and I said, all right, no running. So, but we've been like going on so many walks, and like I said, we went hiking. We like walked like 4 miles like a couple days ago, just like walking through like there's like a beachway park, and it's like this really really long park right on the beach. It's awesome. Like, we walked that whole thing. That was so cool. Oh my god, I'm just loving it down here, and I can't wait to see Maui because I heard Maui's beautiful.
Yeah, I would love to go to Hawaii. Mostly, it was like the same. I mean, there's many reasons to go to Hawaii over like New York when I went there, but going to the 9/11 museum in New York was awesome. So I would love to go to see Pearl Harbor at Hawaii.
It's
I love seeing like the
magnificent, yeah.
American history stuff like that. It's so cool.
So there's an area at Pearl Harbor that they take you out, and it's like where one of the like the ship was actually like blown up, one of the ships, and it's like where people like spread the ashes of like all their loved ones. And when you're out there, it's like there's like no talking, like you're not allowed to talk. It's like these people are some people are like absolutely crying. It's like really powerful and really moving. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All
I'll
right.
have to do that. It's a bucket list item right there.
Good stuff. Definitely jealous. Well, in honor of you staying in paradise and being there, I decided that I would join you in solidarity and wear the T-shirt of paradise, of course.
Oh yeah,
Buc-ee's,
haven't
of
seen
course.
one Buc-ee's here. No Buc-ee's here. A lot of ABC stores though. These stores called ABC stores, like this big thing in Hawaii.
Was it like a convenience store?
It's like a convenience store, but they also sell like a bunch. They sell like they have like a deli in there, and like they sell a bunch of like it's really weird. I don't know how to explain it, but there's one on like every corner. I feel like I'm in Massachusetts, but like except it's like Dunkin' Donuts in Massachusetts.
All right. Well, there you have it. So Sean's living the dream. Anyways, this is Games Over Plastic, the podcast, which is for the agnostic gamers. No console wars, just fun over here. As always, you can find us on YouTube with full video and graphics glory. Just go to youtube.com/@GamesOverPlastic or just search for Games Over Plastic. You can also find us on audio services everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Everycast, like I always say. If you're listening on audio services, check the description. There's always a link that will take you to the video version if you want to see the video glory. If you want to see Sean in his hotel room with the coffee maker back there, just, the show never stops with Sean. But yeah, so that's it. This is the podcast. Today's episode, we are going to be getting into our 5 favorite PlayStation franchises, favorite PlayStation games, IPs, whatever. We're going to rank them from 5 to 1. So stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've done a lot of Xbox coverage, and we love PlayStation too. So we're going to get into that today. Let's go ahead and start the show, though, shall we? Let's get into what we are playing right now. And let's go ahead and start it off with Hodge. What's been going on with you, sir?
Yeah, so I tried playing Flintlock Siege of Dawn, which, as people who listen know, is one of my most anticipated the rest of the year. And I gotta say, not a fan. It's not a bad game, but how like cutscenes in Fallout and Starfield and stuff, it's just kind of people standing there talking to each other, but you get to choose the dialogue that's said from you, at least. That's like the cutscenes in Flintlock, but there's no dialogue choices. That's just kind of how the cutscenes are, and that's so really weird. They don't feel cinematic at all. Which it's probably a small budget game. It's not obviously it's not a huge Hollywood spectacle kind of game, but I was expecting it to be a little more narrative or action kind of led. cinematics, and it's just not. It's just kind of people talking. And then the gameplay, it's a Souls-like kind of gameplay where you have to, dodge and all that kind of stuff. And it just doesn't play very well. I mean, I'm not a Souls-like player, so it might just be the fact that I'm not a Souls gamer. That might be it, but it doesn't feel smooth to me. It just is kind of clunky. The graphics don't look how they looked in those trailers on the Series X. It's a big disappointment. It's not a bad game. Seeing all these ratings, I guess, coming out where it's like, I think it maybe like a 70 on Metacritic or something like that. It's not bad, but it's not great. I think that's probably accurate. I dropped it after about an hour and a half. It didn't speak to me. I'm bummed because it looked really cool, but yeah, it didn't do it for me. I'm just done with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Haven't played that myself.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard anything or know anything about it.
I've heard. I've just I haven't really been keeping up with gaming news, but from what the brief stuff I've heard is that a lot of people are disappointed with it.
Yeah, which I guess I don't know. I was bummed, but it's whatever. It's just not the game for me. But the next one that I'm playing that I do really enjoy is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Splintered Fate for on the Switch. It is obviously a kid version of Hades because it's it literally says Nickelodeon when you open the game. It's a Nickelodeon game, so obviously for kids, and you could tell it's like baby's first roguelike kind of game. But it plays just like Hades. It's the same exact kind of room by room, random enemy types until you get to the boss, move on to the next area. After the run, you can level yourself up and all that kind of stuff. It's the exact same thing as Hades, but with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. It's not obviously as good as Hades. Hades is one of my favorite games of all time, but it is a very fun game that's holding me over until Hades 2 comes out, and so it's definitely worth it. I would, if you don't want to play it on Switch, obviously, I'm not blaming it because you have loading screens when it's that. Whereas I'm sure once this game comes to Xbox and PlayStation, it's going to be very quick into each room because it's really not that complicated of a game. It's a small cartoony kind of game. But on Switch, it is still very fun. It's actually other than Link's Awakening, I'm actually playing my Switch again, which makes me happy because I didn't touch it in a long time.
That's
so
awesome.
I forgot how much I really enjoy that console. Other than the fact that it's weak, obviously, it's nowhere near as powerful as the modern gens, but I'm really enjoying playing the Switch again. I'm also playing Link's Awakening. I didn't put it on my list because I haven't gotten very far because I've been mostly playing like Fortnite in my free time and trying out these other games, a little bit of Gears 3 as well. But that's it with the Teenage Mutant Turtle game. Do you want to play that game when it comes to other consoles, or are you guys just passing on it?
I'm not a big TMNT guy, but I do have a question, Hodge. Who are you playing as? Which turtle? Because I heard they all play very differently.
I'm playing as Donatello. Donnie's always been my favorite. He's the purple one with the staff. Yeah, he's always been my favorite. I don't know why, but yeah, I played a little bit as Leonardo, but you can just switch in between runs. You can switch between your between the turtles. It's kind of, I'm thinking how you have different weapons in Hades. That's kind of but it's turtles instead. But I haven't played a co-op yet, which I'm sad. I want to do that.
I was thinking, I'm like I said, I'm not a big Turtles guy, but I really liked what's is it the one that just came out like 2 years ago?
Shredder's Revenge.
Shredder's Revenge. Yeah. I really like that, and like I said, I'm not a Turtles guy, and that like just spoke to me, the gameplay. So if the gameplay is really good, I probably I might play this. And
I really enjoy it.
PlayStation,
yeah, that's the thing. I might buy it again when it comes to Xbox or PlayStation, but I really just wanted to play it because I needed my Hades fix, and I'm enjoying it for that. But yeah, and then lastly, I'm not going to get too into it because I'm sure Midnight will have more to say about it. But I've been playing I played College Football 25. I only played 2 games because I did the 10-hour trial through EA Play or whatever it's called, and it's fine. It brought me back to playing it back in the day though, because it plays very much like it, and it is fun, but I don't know. I don't feel the drive to play a sports game, playing like Dynasty Mode or whatever. So I just played a couple of games. I enjoyed it. If other people ever want to play online or something, I might get the full version to do that. But playing it by myself, I'm like, it's the same thing over and over. It's fine. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that until midnight goes. But Yeah, that's all I'm playing.
Midnight, before you take off and talk about how great college football 25 is, I do have a little funny story. Is I was sitting by the pool yesterday, and three guys, I think there was like a bachelor party going on, and these three guys were just going off about how addicted to college football they were, that one guy brought his PlayStation here and they were playing it in the hotel room, and they were talking about it. And one guy was so inspired by Hawaii that he's like, he goes, I'm going to I'm taking over the University of Hawaii. I'm doing it. And it was like, so just like listen to that was so funny. I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, that's awesome.
That is funny. Yeah, I know a lot of people have talked about wanting to pick Hawaii in Dynasty mode and rebuild them because I think they're like a 1-star program on there. So it's like the challenge.
Wow.
Yeah, so that would be cool. All right, yeah. So let me get into my games here. And of course, my first game is also College Football 25. So as you guys know, I've said many times, this was like my most anticipated game for the year. Super excited when this game, a lot of nostalgia playing it as a kid, and in the late 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. I was playing this all the time. And so, I've been playing College Football 25 a bit. I did a dynasty mode. Of course, I picked Ohio State first, even though that's easy mode and it's kind of lame, but that's my team, so got to do it. Won the national championship with them. That was cool. And I played a couple games. Like I played against my brother. I played against Skywalker. We faced off. We played 2 games. So shout out to Skywalker. That was fun. It's cool, but I have to say I'm not loving it as much as I was hoping and thinking that I would. I think that the nostalgia was a lot stronger than the reality. Like that was a different era back then, like we didn't even really have smartphones barely back then. You know what I mean? So it's like playing a dynasty all the time and doing all the recruiting and stuff was like our main source of entertainment back then. But now there's like entertainment everywhere you look. So it's like, it's just not gripping me as much. So there's 2 reasons why I'm not feeling college football as much as I thought I would. The first reason is that I'm bad. Like I've been throwing like lots of interceptions. Like I'm making terrible reads. I'm throwing interceptions. I've been struggling a little bit. I played against my brother 2 games. He intercepted me 7 times in the 2 games. Like it was so pathetic. I actually beat him the second game somehow, though. Even though I threw 3 picks, I still won.
Like Peyton Manning, rookie year Peyton Manning, right there.
Yeah, so I'm bad, but to be fair, I haven't played enough to get good. Like I've barely played. So, but the second reason why I haven't played that much is I've just been so addicted to Diablo 4. Like I can't put that game down, and I'll talk about that briefly here in a bit. But staying on college football, it is a great game. Like the gameplay is really good, the graphics are amazing, the presentation, it's got most of what you want there. Like the dynasty mode's deep, the recruiting is awesome. The ultimate team is BS as always, dude. I got in the ultimate team.
Of course.
Dude, I don't understand. Like when you play MLB The Show, that game is so, when you play Diamond Dynasty on there, which is like their ultimate team, it is so free to play friendly. Like they just give you cards. Like it's so easy to get these 99 overall like boss cards. You just play the game and you get all these rewards. It's awesome. When I'm playing ultimate team on college football, it's like they just want me to spend money. I'm like, how am I supposed to get a better team? How am I supposed to get packs? How am I supposed to get cards? Like, I don't know. It's kind of lame. But yeah, anyways, that's College Football 25. I'm not done with it. Yeah.
Really quickly before you move on to your next game, I will say that is one thing I do love about the game is the presentation, which we knew was going to be awesome. Like my first game, I like the Iowa Hawkeyes. I'm not like a diehard college football fan, so I don't really have an allegiance, but I lived in Iowa, so I enjoy that. I've seen the Hawkeye logo everywhere, so I just played as the Hawkeyes, and I did a home game against Wisconsin, and it was cool because it shows the wave. They do the wave to the children's hospital, like, and just the attention to everything is so cool. But yeah, the gameplay is just yeah. It's something I could hop in and play a game here and there, but it's nothing I'm gonna play. Like it's not gonna be my go-to only game I play kind of thing.
That stinks. That kind of stinks to hear. But
yeah,
maybe it's just that maybe just outgrown sports. You know what I mean? You know how it's like sometimes it's like back when we were younger, it was just like that's all we had.
Mhm.
Well,
So it's
yeah,
like,
because it was a different outcome every time. Like you could replay a narrative game over and over, like we did as kids, but it
yeah,
was the same game every time. But with college football, it's you had a new season every time, and it was different every time you played it. So it was something to keep you going back to. But yeah, it's just there's so many games now. I don't want to dedicate my time to just playing a sports game. So, but the people who do the very casual gamers who like they didn't the Series S sell a shit ton because of this
yeah,
game
yeah.
that people were buying it to play on Series S. So like that's really cool that people are getting back into like there are those casual gamers who that's like COD and Madden, like that's all they play,
Yeah.
and so them having that NCAA game to play is really cool. So, but
In
yeah, for
in
me,
general, yeah. No, I was gonna say in general, I think we're gonna see console sales for the month of July across the board just be insane just because of this game.
oh
Mhm.
yeah, oh for sure,
Yeah, it's a system seller for sure.
yeah, definitely,
And I
yeah.
want to point out, I'm not done with this game. I'm not dropping it. I just haven't played it that much because, like I said, I'm bad and I'm addicted to Diablo. Like, I can't stop playing Diablo. So, when I eventually get done and put Diablo down, I'll probably have more time to play college football. I want to get better. I want to play more games and actually, figure out the schemes and how to read the defense more. I want to do a dynasty with one of these scrub teams to kind of build them up. That'll be more of a challenge and more fun. So I'm not done. I just haven't played it as much. And like I said, the nostalgia was stronger than the reality is so far my impression. But it is a good game. It's by no means bad. So that's College Football 25. And let me just very briefly get into the other two games I'm playing because I've already talked to them about multiple times. So I'm still playing XDefiant. Been playing it a ton. Played it last night with my boy Debo, DLB. We've been grinding for weapon camos. We've been having a good time. I love that game. I'm going to play that a lot. So, but I'm going to keep it moving because I've talked about it enough. And then Diablo 4, this game is my addiction. This game I'm going to talk about slightly longer because I'm so in love and so addicted with this game. It is like crack, dude. It's like heroin. Like, I'm just constantly playing it. Like, I'm constantly running dungeons. I'm constantly going into the pit, trying to go deeper into the pit, trying to find better gear because I'm trying to build like the suit of gear that I want, but I'm missing multiple pieces. Like, you got to find a chest piece that has plus to golem damage because I'm playing a necromancer. You got this big ass golem. I'm trying to find like an amulet that has plus hellbent commander and stuff. So it's like just running these dungeons while listening to music and podcasts is so fun. And I'm just having a great time. I could talk about this game for like 20 minutes, but because this is like the fourth episode I've talked about, I'm just going to leave it there. Diablo 4 is amazing. That's what I'm playing. Let's keep it moving. Sean Mason, what have you been playing, my friend?
All right, so before I left, I was really hoping I could have finished Trails Through Daybreak, but I'm like close to the end of the game. I know I am. I'm in chapter 5, and I know there's 5 chapters plus an epilogue, and I'm close to it. But the game is so good that I'm like talking to every, like I said, I'm talking to every NPC, getting really deep into it. And some of these quests, these side quests, I'm like, oh my, I cannot believe the depth that Neon Falcom has gone in like just like writing some of these quests. And the main story, there was a huge twist and I did not see it coming. And I audibly was like, oh my, I couldn't get over it. I had to stop playing and like decompress.
What was the twist?
I'm
Do you
not,
want to spoil it here for all the weebs?
yeah, an asteroid comes and everyone dies. It's crazy.
Oh, that is
Um,
crazy.
yeah, I know. And then Thanos comes down and snaps his fingers. It's back again. Yeah, it's
I'm
wild.
just kidding, by the way. No spoilers. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely loving the game. I am going to talk about it more next episode because I'll be done with it by then. So I am going to move on because there is something that I did make a promise to some people that I would play, and I played it on my flight. I played Metroid Prime. I played it for 10 straight hours. Just sat there and played Metroid Prime. I did not beat it. I came close to the end, but I needed to put it down because I was like, I need to take a little break. It is freaking phenomenal. I know. I literally sat there for 10 hours and just played it. Some people were staring at me like, "What is this guy doing?" Um, it is phenomenal. Like I cannot believe that I slept on this game. You can see the quality that like Nintendo. It's like a quality of like a Nintendo game. Like the way they tutorialize like how you're supposed to like use your power ups by like they throw you in a room and it's like defeat this boss, you get this power up, and then to get out of the room, you have to use the power up. It is like the classic Metroidvania. Like get this upgrade and then go back and do other stuff. I am loving this game. Like it. I'm almost like reminded of Halo 2 when I'm playing it. Like not Halo 2, but like Halo as well. Like I'm playing like this the enemy design. Like I'm looking like this is so Halo. The gameplay is super smooth. I love going into the morph ball as Samus and just rolling around, and you can drop like little mini bombs and like do like a bounce hop. It is so cool, and the bosses are awesome. There's a lot of different like just mini bosses. You can scan all the different enemies too. Like I'm obsessed with that because I'm like trying to 100% the scan the documents. The environments are really cool. The game is gorgeous on the Switch too, which is awesome, and it runs super well. Like it's not chugging at all, which I was a little worried about because my sister said she encountered some chugging compared to the GameCube version. But I didn't play the GameCube version, so maybe I just like, oh, this is what it is. Overall, I'm really digging this game. It's funny because like the plot at first, like you're kind of just thrown into it, and I'm like, what is going on? But then the more you get into it, like you get like codec entries you can read. It's really cool too because it's first person, but you can see like Samus's face like reflected on the visor, which is like awesome. Like I said, I'm digging it, and it's gotten me very interested in Metroid. I'm like, I really want to play all these games now, and so I'm hoping 2 and 3 come to Switch before 4 because I would like love to be able to play that. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like I said, I'm about 10 hours in, and I heard the game's about 12 hours, so I will probably finish it on my way home. I just really haven't been able to play it. But yeah, that's Metroid Prime. Spoiler alert, I didn't tell you guys, but I'm thinking, well, not spoiler alert. I don't know why I said spoiler, but I'm thinking me and our friend Berto, we might do a DLC episode on Metroid Prime because I know he adores Metroid and we talked about it a little bit. So if you guys are okay with that, me and him are just going to do a deep dive on Metroid Prime.
Of course.
I was actually going to say that I want to play Metroid Prime, and I was going to shout out Berto because I know it's his favorite game of all time. So
guys, I'm telling you,
want to play it.
It is so good. Like,
well, now that I'm in my Switch revival, I might have to do it.
It was so like my sister was jealous that because like I said, it's her favorite game of all time that she took out her Switch in the middle of the flight and started playing it. She beat it in like 6 hours, but she just like speed ran through it, and I'm like, wow, you're already done? She's like, yeah. She knows where everything is though. There are points I'm getting lost though, and it was funny because I was on the plane, so I'm like, I don't have access to just look stuff up. So I'm like, what do I have to do here? It brought me back to my childhood. It was fun. It's a good time. And then yep.
So I actually have a random. I want to sidebar slightly. Of course, Metroid Prime. I don't have a Switch, so unfortunately I can't join you. But Hodge, if that's something you're going to play, maybe you should try to play that, and you could join that DLC episode with them.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
If I do, I will. Yeah.
But this is what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to slightly sidebar if I can, because when you mentioned Hodge, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, I didn't really get a chance. You kind of just went into the next game.
Oh, sorry.
You mentioned that game was like Hades, and I've never. Is that like a Metroidvania? I haven't played Hades either. I'm ignorant.
It's a roguelike. It's like a roguelike.
It's the where you start at you start your run, and when you die, you go back to the start, and you like level up, and then you keep dying and going back.
You're like slightly stronger each run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when you're going through the run, you can pick up like different. I don't know, like just you pick up different like merchandise,
currency.
Yeah, currency. And so when you die, you still have that currency, and you just use it to buy an upgrade at the end of each run. Okay. And so that's what you do in both Hades and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think Hades is very similar to Rogue Legacy.
Okay. Yeah, like these terms like roguelike and Metroidvania are like kind of weird to me. Like I'm not an expert on those, but that does sound kind of cool. I might actually check out that Ninja Turtles game when it comes to PlayStation or Xbox. But.
Yeah, it's really fun. Or play Hades because Hades is better. But
or just play Rogue Legacy or Dead Cells.
Hades might be better, but I like the Turtles though. I grew up with Turtles.
Oh, that's fair. Then you'd probably well then if you love it, then you can move on to Hades from there. But,
there we go. Yeah.
But the I forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. Let's move on.
All right. My bad. I sidebarred. Sean Mason, you have one more game, right?
Yeah, one more game. I was super bored one day when we were not super bored, but we were here, and I was just waiting for everyone to get up. So I threw on the NES like online like app on the Switch, played through Super Mario Bros. I beat the game without dying. It was awesome. Played every level, no warp zone. Beat the game without dying. It was great. Just a quick little throwback. Yeah, I love Mario Bros. So yeah, I love it. So it's so easy.
You guys know about the infinite life glitch in that game?
It's not a glitch. That's not a glitch. It's like a design like feature.
Is it where you get the shell caught on the thing?
Yeah, and that was just deliberately put in there.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I just remember doing that as a kid, and I was like, I'm breaking the game. Look at all these lives. It's great.
Yeah, no, I just decided to play through it without, and I got through it without dying. I hit like World 8 too, and I'm like, I haven't died yet. So then I was like, started getting nervous, and then I'm like, I'm gonna do this. It was great.
There you have
It
it.
only took me
Sean
like
Mason, professional gamer.
it only took me like 20 minutes. Like it's so easy.
That's hilarious because I have a video on my channel, shameless plug, on Midnight DT, but of me playing Mario like on the Wii U, like Super Mario Brothers U, and I was so bad at that game because I hadn't played a Mario game in like 12 years, 15 years or something. Dude, I was dying left and right and I was raging. It was a funny video because it was the worst gameplay you've ever seen and I was like raging in the video. It was pretty funny. It's called MLG Mario. MLG for like Major League Gaming, Yeah. Anyway, all right, Sean, are you satisfied with your games?
Of course.
All right. Let's go ahead and segue then into our main topic of discussion, shall we? This is going to be fun. And by the way, guys, if you're still listening, shameless plug time, thank you, by the way. Please leave us a like rating on YouTube. Drop a comment down there. Speaking of comments here, you guys talk about something real quick and fill the air. Talk about PlayStation.
Have you tried surfing, Sean, in Hawaii?
Not yet, but I am going to soon. But I've seen so many people like getting surfing lessons and trying, and it looks freaking awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, it looks difficult.
I'm also like really inspired just being here to like go back and try Pokemon Sun and Moon. And I know that was the one that killed me for Pokemon, but like I'm here, I'm like I want to play Pokemon Sun and Moon.
What were the royal like Persona 5 Royale? Like what was those versions of the Pokemon Sun and Moon? It was like
like the Ultra Beast, Ultra B. Oh, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I played Ultra Moon. That was my first Pokemon game since Silver that I played. But when I bought a 3DS, like I don't know how many years ago, and I played Ultra Moon, and I actually really loved it. I don't know why people hate on it.
I'm thinking about it like,
huh?
Sorry, keep talking.
But yeah, I really liked it, but I guess I hadn't played all of them in between Silver and that, so I can't judge based on that. But I really liked Ultra Moon when I played it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, but like, cause like there's like the I know in like Sun and Moon, like they have like the Tapu Kopo or whatever, like they have like all these like these crazy like Pokemon that have like these Hawaiian names, and like I'm like seeing these Hawaiian names, like I want to play Sun and Moon. My sister's like, you should do it, because my sister still like love Pokemon. So it was funny. They have like there's a lot of Pokemon merchandise here too, like a lot.
Awesome.
It's great. Right. I feel like I'm in like Japan. I'm in like Japan light.
Yeah, you are. Japan adjacent. All right, thanks guys for filling in the air. I was going to mention that, when I was talking about YouTube, leave a comment down below, and if you have questions and write-ins for the show, leave that. And that's why I was doing the segue, because I was going to pull up to see if we wanted to do a write-in, but I think we're going to do it next week. We'll do it next week because I wasn't prepared. But I do want to give a shout out to Monster Pontes, because he had a write-in, which we will probably use next week or something. So
Ricky's a good dude.
Good dude. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our main topic of discussion. Like I was saying, we're going to be ranking our favorite PlayStation games of all time, PlayStation-owned IPs, PlayStation games, from 5 to 1. And we're going to go ahead and start it off with Sean. If you want to go ahead and give us your number 5, sir.
All right, this is going to be a shocker for you guys. My number 5 is the Resistance franchise. I know first-person shooter, that's very different for me. I adore Resistance. Resistance Fall Man, got it launch day, PlayStation. My dad got it, I remember, and me and him played through co-op like that weekend, and we like devoured the game. And that was like one of my first real first-person shooters. It's very dated now to go back and play Fall Man on PS3. Like it was like you like click R3 to like scope in, but it's like you don't hold it down, you just like it's like held there, and then you have to click it again to undo it. It is very dated. It's like so like that like PS2 era shooter, even though it was on PS3. I love the story of Resistance, like absolutely adore it. It's so cool. It's like the alternate history where World War II didn't happen because the Chimera came down and they took over like the humans. Huge improvement in Resistance 2. Like Resistance 2 took a huge step forward. Resistance 2 is my favorite of the three. And it takes place in the United States, which is so cool. I'll never forget like the iconic shot from like the promo. Like they're in the Bay Area and you can see like the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's just like ships flying over it. and it's like that image is like instilled in my head. And the game got a huge graphics overhaul, like going into Resistance 2. It was so cool. And then the main character is named Nathan Hale, which is so funny because it's like a Revolutionary War hero named Nathan Hale, which is like
Yep, Nathaniel Hale. Yeah.
yeah. The game is so cool, and it's like so isolated because you're basically running around like basically by yourself the entire time, because it's like not like everyone else gets wiped out, but you're like a chosen one. Like you're not gonna get killed. It's a really great. If you haven't played Resistance, like the story modes are great. Unfortunately, I like never really got to play the online. My only memory of playing online was Resistance 2 on New Year's Eve 2008. Like right when the ball struck midnight, I was playing online. I don't know why. We just were, me and my buddy Donnie. There was a snowstorm in New England that day. And then Resistance 3, I really like too. You don't play as Nathan Hale though. You play as another character named Joseph Capelli, who's like a side character in Resistance 2. And it's really cool. I'm not going to get into why you don't play as Nathan Hale. You If you play Resistance 2, you'll know why. But yeah, the Resistance trilogy by far is like one of my favorite first-person shooting franchises of all time. It was my favorite. Then I played Halo, and I was like, wow, Halo is a lot better than this. But Resistance is still really good, and I really hope Sony returns to Resistance. Like, I would love that, especially when Insomniac does those like weird tweets where they tweet out, "Hey, they tweet out like this Resistance artwork." And I'm like, this is such a tease. And then they tweet out like 2 days later, we're not working on any Resistance games. But yeah, the Resistance franchise. Do you guys have any like Hodge? You've played Resistance, right?
I tried the first one. I played it for a couple hours, but I gave up on it because it wasn't because I love that setting and idea of a World War II versus aliens. Like that is so cool, which is why I picked it up. But at that point, I'd already played like Call of Duty 4 and Halo and like so. The shooting, it just felt so shit to me. Like the gameplay just didn't feel good, and so I'm like, I can't do it because I don't like this gameplay. But
it's very PS2.
Like I feel like if they ever remastered it and kind of did a like a control remap kind of thing with modern controls, then I would love to play that because like I said, that setting is so cool. Like I would love to play that, but yeah, that gameplay, I couldn't do it, so I fell off.
The enemy design is so cool. Some of the enemies,
what they call the Chimera,
the Chimera, and the later you go, like there's like the enemies get crazier and crazier. If they could just re-release 1 and give it 2's controls, I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah,
because 2 has much better controls.
Yeah, I would love to play those games. Like,
yeah, they should do that. They should release them. I briefly played on PS3. I played Resistance Fall of Man a little bit. I didn't get super deep into it, though. I just dabbled a little bit. And I was like, oh, this is cool, shooting some aliens. I was like, this is a pretty good game. But I never got super heavy into it. I was mostly on the 360 in that generation, playing like Gears and Halo and stuff. But it was cool. It was a competent shooter with a cool setting, like you said. All right. So that was Resistance. Let me go ahead and move on. Oh, go ahead.
One last thing. Shout out to the bullseye. That's my favorite weapon from the game. Love it. But yeah, go on.
Okay. So let me move on to my number 5. My number 5 is going to be Infamous, the Infamous series from Sucker Punch, the best developer that PlayStation owns. I love Infamous, although I am kind of a fraud, kind of a poser. I don't know, because I've only played one Infamous game, actually, and it was the one that everybody doesn't like that much. I played Infamous Second Son on the PlayStation 4, and I really liked it. I was like, this is an awesome game, dude. It's cool going around Seattle. You got your little concrete power. You got your neon light power. There was another power, too, which for some reason I can't remember what it was. Do you remember, Sean?
They have the flame power, the fire.
Oh, okay.
That's the one you start with that one.
Yeah, I liked the concrete and the neon were my favorite ones.
The neon was so cool. The traversal with the neon was so cool.
And actually, more frauding from Midnight. I didn't play the expansion, the First Light or whatever.
Oh my god!
I heard it was good though.
So good. First Light. It's my favorite Infamous. It's so good.
Really? Okay, I'll have to go back and play that sometime. I'll add that to the 60 game backlog list there. But yeah, Infamous, that's going to be my number 5 game just because I love Sucker Punch. I really enjoyed that game a lot. I thought the story was awesome. I thought the characters were awesome, even though it was named Delsin or whatever. Delsin Rowe.
Delsin Rowe.
He was kind of a lame a little bit, but I still liked him though. Like his story was cool. They're being persecuted. It was great. I really enjoyed that game. Shout out to Infamous, the traversal, the city, the story, the combat. The combat with all the powers was a lot of fun. And I really would love to see a new Infamous game. I know, of course, Sucker Punch is busy making Ghost of Tsushima 2, which I can't wait for. That game's going to be awesome. But after that, I wouldn't be mad if they made another Infamous game. I wouldn't be mad at all, personally. What do you guys think? You got any Infamous thoughts?
I freaking love Infamous. It just missed my list. It was right on the edge. I almost put it on over Resistance, but Infamous 1 and 2 in particular, Cole McGrath is the man. Oh my gosh. I fell in love with him back when I played Infamous in 2007. To the point where I wanted a t-shirt, like an Infamous t-shirt so bad. And this is like before like you could just get like shirts basically like with anything. And like I remember going online and like trying to find a custom t-shirt maker and trying to make one. And then I put it together and like it was like $300. I was like, oh, I can't do that. I'm 11 years old. I can't do that. But yeah,
Well,
go on, Midnight.
No, you go.
I was gonna say if they ever bring Infamous 1 and 2 natively to PlayStation, not streaming, because I've tried to play it streaming wise and it was not good. You should definitely play it. And Infamous 1, the lighting is so off, and you really don't notice it until you play like Infamous 2 and Second Son, how much better the lighting is. The lighting is so weird in Infamous 1. Because I went back and played it, and it was so janky and bizarre to me. You know, it reminded me of like GTA 4, like that lighting in GTA 4. It was very similar to that.
Yeah. It's funny, you took the words right out of my mouth because that's what I was about to say, that it's hard to go back and play those games because they were PS3 games. And of course, PlayStation, for some reason, still has not figured out how to do backwards compatibility on PlayStation 3, despite the fact that they made the damn system. They can't figure out how to emulate it. So that does make it hard.
Remaster. Like, we never got a remaster.
Yeah, why didn't they remaster it? It's funny because I actually own Infamous 1 and maybe Infamous 2, because if you remember when they had the great PlayStation hack, they gave out free games as like an apology, and the free game that they gave out was Infamous, or maybe I picked Infamous.
Yeah, they gave out a dual pack. You got 1 and 2.
Yeah, so I own them, but it's like I can't play them really because they're not backwards compatible on the PS4 or PS5, which is super lame, and I don't want to stream it like you said. All right, Hodge, you have any Infamous thoughts and then get into your number 5?
Yeah, I actually only played the first Infamous. I own Second Son because I think it was a PlayStation Plus game, and so I definitely have it in my library.
It's a good game.
But I do want to play it. It's just one that it was on my backlog and then just kind of. I played the first one, and I wanted to play the second one. I actually remember when they announced the second one, they completely changed how Cole looked because no one liked him in the first one. But then there was so much backlash with how much they changed him that they changed him back. And so I that's kind of what I remember about Infamous 2. But I do want to play them. The first one, I loved it. I loved that game. It was so much fun. The only thing that kind of sucks about it is it had the illusion of choice, where it's like you had the good ending or the bad ending, but then they had to canonize one for the sequel, so it kind of got rid of that choice. But other than that, I love that first one. I would love to play the second one and it's Second Son eventually.
Lagging again. And we're back. We had some technical difficulties. Robot Hodge broke in and took over. He busted in like the Kool-Aid man. But we were talking about, you were giving us a little bit more thoughts about Infamous, Hodge, and then you were going to give us your number 5.
Yeah, I'll just kind of summarize what I said just in case. I don't know what made it, what didn't. I love the first one. I'd love to play the second one. I'll get to it. And the third one ish 2.5, whatever, the new protagonist. I definitely want to play them eventually, but it like we said, it has to be native to PS5 now, so I can actually want to play it. But other than that, great pick. Number 5.
I do recommend, if you ever have the time, to play Second Son, since you do own that, because it's really good. It's underrated. I don't know why people hate on it. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll definitely get around to it eventually. But my number 5 is, I was very torn between two, because I was either going to do The Last of Us or Ghost of Tsushima. But as a franchise, I only like half of The Last of Us. So I'm going to go with Ghost of Tsushima as my number 5, because even though it's only one game, it's 100% awesome. So I'm gonna choose that. This game, I remember when it was like announced, it was everyone was worried about it because they were, hyping up Last of Us Part 2 and they weren't really talking about Ghost of Tsushima. So everyone was worried it was going to suck. And then it came out and just blew everyone away. And I remember playing it, like, I think I played it. I played the PS5 Oh, no, I played it on PS4 and then I bought PS5 so I could play Iki Island. But the game is just, it's Assassin's Creed done right, basically. Like, I like Assassin's Creed for the most part, but Ghost of Tsushima is the best Assassin's Creed game. It plays like, it's so good. The stealth is awesome. It's just the action and the picking your stance to fight the certain enemy types and all. It's so much fun, and it's like it's a beautiful game is the biggest part of it. That world is gorgeous. And so I love this game and I cannot wait for number 2 to come out. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is number 5 for me.
All right. So Ghost of Tsushima, I'll quickly get into it briefly, and then I'll pass it to Sean because he's going to be up next. Ghost of Tsushima, for anyone who knows me on Discord, you might know that I do hype up this game quite a bit. So I have to say that I think that is an excellent pick, Hodge. I love this game. And spoiler alert, I might be talking about that one a little bit later. So Sean, give us your thoughts on Ghost and then your number 4, sir.
I really like Ghost. Really good. It took me a while to get into it because I tried to play it right after I played Last of Us 2, and like I wasn't in the mood for it right after that. So like I remember I started it and I'm like, not in the mood for this. And I played it a year later and I absolutely adored it. Hodge, you were right. The game might be like one of the best looking games on for PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't believe it. The combat is super smooth. I really liked just going into like bandit camps and just going in and just like trying to do it stealthy, and then like you get spun, you're like, screw it, I'm gonna go all in now and just take everybody out. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. The one thing I wish that they continued from like Infamous was like the choice, like if you did it stealthy, like you could have like a reputation of being like not honor. Like it really didn't matter if you did it stealthy or if you did it like just go all out. It is cool, and I know they had the ending choice, but like I don't know if that's really
wasn't it originally supposed to be way more decision heavy, and then they just kind of ditched it? Because wasn't it
when they originally
like
announced
either
it,
a ninja or a samurai kind of thing?
Yeah, when they originally announced it, they were alluding to that, but then they kind of like backtracked on it, like in like a series of tweets. But
yeah,
it is what it is. It's still a really great game. It was not on my list.
Boo.
What is on your list?
What is on your list, sir?
All right, number 4. I'm sure I'm going to be the only one with this game on my list. It is Little Big Planet / Sackboy. So like that whole like Sackboy friend. I love Little Big Planet. I know it's Little Big Planet 1 and 2 were like peak Little Big Planet. Like I remember spending so many hours just playing created levels from other people, looking up like these crazy levels. I remember like Ultimate Ninja Warrior had just come out in the United States, and people were making like Ninja Warrior levels, and me and my friends would try to go through and play them, and it'd be like races, and it was so much fun. I was so bad at creating levels. Like I tried to create levels, and it was so like I was so bad at it. The costume design in like Little Big Planet and Sackboy Big Adventure is insane. I remember they released a Metal Gear Solid 4-pack, and you could dress your Sackboy up as Snake. That was so cool. They had so many like tie-in costumes. And overall, it was just such a fun, like little game. I loved playing with me and my friends and play it almost every weekend. We would just play through co-op, and the music in Little Big Planet just hits like something. Like I still listen to the soundtrack of all 3 games, and then I'm not including Little Big Planet 3. I don't acknowledge that game because that game is not good. It is an insult to Little Big Planet 1 and 2. But Sackboy's Big Adventure, better than Astrobot. I'm sorry, it is. It's better than Astrobot. It is. Like the platforming in that game is ridiculous. To 100% that game, it takes a lot of skill. One of my favorite platinum trophies I've ever got is Sackboy's Big Adventure. They have these like knit and night trials that you have to go through, and like some of them are ridiculous. The level design is awesome, and like I said, the soundtrack of those games, like for Sackboy's Big Adventure, they have "Toxic" by Britney Spears is the soundtrack of one level. It's like the music of one level. They have like "Just Dance" by is that who sings that? It's like just dance. Oh no, it's
I know the
Let's
song.
Dance. Yeah. Oh my god, David Bowie.
Hmm.
And like that's the soundtrack. They have Uptown Funk is like it's so the way they design it with the level, like certain things happen in the level and it like coincides with the beat. It's just such a great. Like, I love the character Sackboy. I wish he was bigger. I wish it really hit off, but it seems like Astrobot's the way they're going. But yeah, so Little Big Planet / Sackboy's Big Adventure. That whole IP. Yeah, any history? I don't know. I know that's like a very deep cut.
All right, Hodge, any thoughts on that?
I loved the first one. I played the crap out of it when I got my PS3 back in the day. I really loved it. I just never got 2 or 3. I don't know why. I just never bought
Two
them.
is phenomenal. Two is
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I'm sure it is. And then
Yeah.
Sackboy, I do own that game, and I know I'm pretty sure I said it on here before. I need to play that because I love
It's so
platformers, and I'm sure, and I've heard it's awesome. So, actually, I'm gonna try and put that to the front of the backlog soon because I do need, especially with Astrobot coming out. I want to just get into a platformer kick, so I might have to play it a little bit before
It
Astro
is
comes out.
so good. It is so good.
Because I really want to.
Design's
Yeah,
immaculate.
but I do agree with you that it's such a shame. Like he seems like such a good mascot for a console, so it is crazy that Sackboy, like he kind of was in the PS3 era. I guess they did have Sackboy on a lot of stuff, but yeah, it kind of died when PS4 came out. And was there even a game on PS4?
Little Big Planet 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's probably why I didn't play that one because there's so many.
It wasn't good.
On
You weren't missing much.
PS4.
Hodge, you said you played it a lot. Did you slap people with Sackboy? You know you can do the slap motion.
Yeah,
me and my friends would do that all the time.
I didn't play it online that much, but I did. I do remember that from playing it briefly online. Yeah, it's such a great IP. I wish it was treated a little better than kind of where it's at now. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, so I unfortunately don't have any history with Little Big Planet or Sackboy. You know, I'm not a huge platformer guy. I'm also not super creative. I think you can create like levels and stuff in some of those games. I don't do that. I'm pretty stupid. So I don't have any history with those games, but obviously those are very popular. Media Molecule, of course, they may come up later on my list. One of their games might be near the top of my list. We'll see.
Yeah, Dreams. Yeah.
But yeah, let me go ahead and get into my number 4 now. And this one is slightly cheating because I don't know that PlayStation owns this IP, but this game is undeniably a PlayStation game. And it is going to be Marvel's Spider-Man, the whole series. All 3 games, love them. The original, like 2016 or whatever, beat the shit out of that game.
2018.
Loved it. 2018, thank you for correcting me, Sean. That game was awesome. Miles Morales, the little PS5 game, really enjoyed that game. I thought the story was great, although it was short. Had fun traversing the city, using little lightning powers and stuff. Fun game, fun experience. And then, of course, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 came out recently. Was it last year or something?
2023.
It was the second game ever that I got the Platinum Trophy for. My second ever Platinum. I got Marvel Spider-Man 2. It wasn't a very hard one. And yeah, it was just fun, man. Great stories, great combat, great traversal, good graphics in New York. You know, they got the ray trace reflections on the windows and stuff. It's just good, man. It's a solid game. You know, I'm not a huge superhero fan, honestly. I'm a little bit burnt out on it, but these are fun experiences and fun games. And they don't demand too much of your time, which I respect. You know, you can get the whole platinum usually in like 25-ish hours in these games. And it's a good time. You beat it, you beat up some villains, you enjoy a story, you get a platinum if you want, and then you move on with your life. And I enjoy that. So Marvel's Spider-Man, shout out to that whole series. That's my number 4. Sean, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I love the Spider-Man series. Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel superhero. So I was all in when they announced this game. When they announced it back in, I forget when they might have first announced it in 2016. I loved 2018. I loved Miles Morales. I adored that game. Like I really, really enjoyed that. And I'm looking forward to the future of the franchise if they make more of like a game centered on Miles. Spider-Man 2 I really liked. I actually like it more than the first one. I know that's not a popular opinion. But yeah, that's such a great pick. The traversal in that game is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And all the different suits are so cool to just go around. But yeah, I love it. Hodge, what about you?
Firstly, I'm pretty sure it was announced in 2016 because that was that epic PlayStation E3 showcase that just blew every other showcase out. It's still like the most epic one of all time.
Yeah, it was really good.
That, like God of War, Resident Evil 7. I remember just my mind being blown that entire showcase.
Yeah, I remember. Sorry, I remember because Xbox went first, and they had a really good conference. And I was like, "Oh shit, it's on now. PlayStation's gonna have a hard time topping it." PlayStation fucking destroyed it. Like that.
Yeah.
That showcase was the best they've probably ever done. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love these games. Well, I haven't played 2 yet actually. I played the first one right when it came out. I platinumed it. I played Miles Morales when it came out. I platinumed it, and then I before Spider-Man 2 came out, I replayed the first one. I think I was unemployed at the time, so I was able to just I was just able to go through it, and I platinumed the remaster of the first one in preparation for 2, and then I didn't play 2 when it came out. I still need to. I'm gonna try and do that sooner than later because I do really want to play it, even though I heard, it's not as good as the first one. But if you like it more, then who knows, it might be. It's definitely probably worth it. It's just I've heard the ending and I'm like kind of dumb, but whatever. But the gameplay is amazing. Like I knew I would love the first one going into it because the last game they had made before that was Sunset Overdrive, which is an amazing game that everyone should play. Xbox One exclusive. And so I've always loved Insomniac. They made either they made or helped like with Spyro back in the day. Like they
made Spyro. They were Spyro.
I knew because I always remembered seeing that Insomniac logo when it was loading. But it's which Spyros are some of my favorite. So Insomniac is one of the best studios just out there in general. And so I love the Spider-Man games, and I definitely do want to play 2. But the first and Miles Morales are 2 of they're some of the PlayStation's best games just in general. So definitely agree with that. Even though they don't own the IP, they own the studio that made it and it's exclusive. So we definitely count
Spyro's great.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your thoughts on Spider-Man? You satisfied there?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So real quick, guys, we're going to call an audible here because Sean, as we know, Sean's in Hawaii. He's on vacation. Unfortunately, he has an obligation that's coming up right now. He has to go. So what we're going to do real quick, we're going to let Sean take the stage here. He's going to give us his 3, 2, and 1, and then he's going to have to depart, and Hodge and I will bring it home with our list. So, Sean, if you want to talk about Spider-Man, if you want, and then get into your 3, 2, 1, sir, it's all you.
Yeah, no, I'll do my 3, 2, 1. Sorry, we're going on like a helicopter tour, so
Okay.
And we have to. I didn't realize. So the tour is at 8:30, but we have to leave like in like a couple 15 minutes because we have to get there early and do all this other stuff. So I apologize about that. All right, so I'm just gonna go through my 3, 2, 1. My number 3 is the Last of Us franchise. I'll just briefly say I absolutely love Last of Us 1. I like 2 more. I know that can be a little controversial. I do like 2. Excited to go see where they go with 3 if they do make a 3, which they will. Obviously, they already announced it. My number 2 is Uncharted. So I got that back-to-back Naughty Dog action right there. Uncharted is absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh, all the games just are so good, and 4 is my absolute favorite. There's a moment in 4 that I blew my mind early in the game, like when you're doing something fun as Drake and Elena. Even Golden Abyss, I know it's on the Vita and it's probably one of the weaker ones, but even Golden Abyss was really good. The first one was great too. And then finally, my number 1, people are going to be aggravated with me with this one, is the Horizon franchise.
God. Sorry.
Gosh, I love Zero Dawn. I love Forbidden West. Forbidden West, I think, is the best looking PS5 game I've ever played. I love the gameplay. I know people don't like Aloy. They think she's annoying. I like her a lot. I like a lot of the characters in Uncharted. I like the world. The story is batshit crazy. Wow, I just swore. Wow, it's the first time I've ever sworn.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big swear. I don't really swear. But it is absolutely insane. Like where it went, I had it completely blew my mind. Rest in peace, Lance Reddick, because his character in that game, Silence, is awesome. So I'm going to be interested to see how they do it in 3, because they're definitely going to make a 3 because they need to wrap up the story. But yeah, I love Horizon. I can't wait for it.
I love that they added a tribute for him in Forbidden West. Like they had the gravestones that Lance on it. I love that.
That was one of his last performances, was that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that they did that.
Okay, I'm
But
really
yeah,
surprised that Horizon was your number one because
oh,
I'm just not a
I
huge
adore
fan
I
of
knew
that personally.
I had a feeling it would be because I know you love Forbidden West. I fell off of it, but it was open world burnout, so I do want to go back to it because I played the first one right before the second one came out. I screwed myself by doing that because then I got that
yeah.
open world burnout, and so I never finished two. But
And
I do love
yeah,
that series
a
so
lot of
far.
people give Horizon flack because like the story is so like convoluted, and like you have to read all these like dire like entry logs to get the full story. But
Yeah.
I adore doing that stuff, so
My
it's so good.
biggest complaint with Forbidden West wasn't the gameplay. The gameplay is amazing, but the graphics obviously amazing. It's the fact that the what's this little scanner called again?
Silent. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
But
Focus,
yeah,
focus.
the focus. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hated it because she was kind of like the Jesus character in the first one because she had the focus, like, and like two other people had it, and so it was like this mystical thing. But then in the second one, she basically has a bag of them, just handing them out to everyone. I'm like, okay, it doesn't mean anything anymore because now everyone has a focus and can see the stuff that only she could see in the first game. So it kind of ruined the whole mythos of it for me. But I did enjoy what I did play at Forbidden West. I just need to get back to it when I'm not completely burnt out on open worlds.
All right. Sorry. So there we go. Let's go ahead and recap here. So for Sean Mason, Mr. Hawaii, we have his number 5 was Resistance. Number 4 was Little Big Planet. Number 3, The Last of Us. Number 2, Uncharted. And number 1, Horizon. I think that's a very solid list. Sean, I know you have to go. Let me go ahead and give you the floor. Any final thoughts that you have for episode number 13, Games Over Plastic, Mr. Hawaii?
There are no weeb games on my list. That's
wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, very different. No JRPGs, no weeb
Well,
games. Yeah, but
PlayStation usually outsources their weebery, right? They don't
that's
have a
true.
lot of first-party weebery.
Yeah. But yeah, so thanks for having me, guys. I'm really enjoying my time. I can't wait for next episode where I'm able to join you guys fully. But yeah, have a great rest of the episode. All right.
Well, you have a great time
Sean,
in Hawaii, man.
Do me a favor. Send me a picture of you in the helicopter or something, and I'll use that for your webcam for the rest of the episode, okay?
All right, I will.
All right, have fun, sir.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys. So getting back into the episode proper. Unfortunately, Sean had to go, as you all just heard. We love Sean. He's in Hawaii. He's living his best life. Hawaii. So, Hodge, let's get back to the normal episode. We're going to go back and forth and round out our list. We are at number 4, sir.
Okay.
What is your number 4?
My number 4 is Jak and Daxter, actually. The original Jak and Daxter is one of my favorite. It's a platformer, obviously, so that's right up my alley, but I loved the first one. The second one and third one both improved by adding, like, the third one had like car and gunplay and shit, so it got really wild. But the first one has always been my favorite because it's just a straight platformer, so obviously with it being for me, that's exactly what I want. But 2 and 3 definitely were amazing. They improved on a lot of stuff. They just became less platformy and more kind of actiony, so I didn't like them as much as the original. It's the same with actually, never mind. This one's going to be on my list, so I don't want to ruin that. But yeah, so I do Jak and Daxter. It was like a classic PS2 mascot kind of thing. And I really loved them back in the day. So yeah, Jak and Daxter.
All right, Jak and Daxter, good pick. I have never played it, believe it or not. I don't even know. Is that a platformer? I'm not familiar at all.
The first one is a platformer. The second, I mean, all 3 are technically platformers. It's just 2 and 3 focus less on the platforming around, and they have a lot more action in the game. So that's why a lot of people like 2 and 3 more. I'm really more into the platformer part, so that's why I like the first one the most. But it's a trilogy that I don't know if anyone who doesn't like those games. They're really, really good. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So that's number 4, Jak and Daxter. Good pick.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3 pick, now we're moving on, is going to be MLB The Show. This is a series that I have played a lot of and that I have a strong love and affinity for. Played a ton of it back in the day on PS3 and PS4. I would dabble in. I think I played like 9, 12, 14. But then I got super heavy into it, as I've mentioned before, with MLB The Show 19. I played that one a ton. I got really hooked into the Diamond Dynasty mode, like I mentioned earlier, which is like Ultimate Team, but it's free to play. Like I said, I never spend any money in Diamond Dynasty. Not really. And you just get a full team of 99s. Like, you just play the game. They have like a little battle pass as you're playing, and you're just unlocking tons of free 99 cards. They have like this conquest mode, which is kind of like the game Risk or whatever, where you take over the map. And at the end of that, you get like an ultra boss card or something that's super sweet. They have these moments where you can get free cards. Like, they just give you free cards left and right. So you can have a lot of fun. I enjoy that. Also, the Road to the Show mode is pretty fun, where like you start in the minor leagues and you make your player, and then you play up and you make it all the way up to the bigs. That's always a lot of fun. And then the online stuff is fun too, playing against people. I had a lot of games, full 9-inning games online, some epic comebacks, some extra inning games. I threw a perfect game in MLB The Show 14. I have a gold trophy to prove it. So that was super cool. For those that don't know, a perfect game is literally just that. You can't walk anybody. You can't allow a hit. You can't hit anybody with a pitch. You just have to get 27 up, 27 down. Basically, all outs or strikeouts. So good stuff like that. So yeah, that's my number 3, MLB The Show. Anything? Any thoughts on that one?
I only played it briefly. I don't remember which year it was. Whichever one, the first one that came to Xbox. Was that 19? 19? Yeah. I played that for a bit. I'm like kind of a lapsed baseball fan. I used to be a pretty big Cubs fan. Funny enough, I actually fell off the year they won the World Series. I fell asleep during the last game that they won. So I was, I'm not a good fan for missing their historic win, but I'm more of a Bears fan, so I don't really care. But it was it's a fun game, and it's a really good baseball sim. Like, I get why people love this franchise, and why the MLB said fuck you, bring it to other consoles, or else you're gonna lose the rights. So it's a really cool game. It's just not one that I really played. Like I said, I'm kind of a last sports gamer also. I think Chell was really the last one I was super into. So yeah, it's a good choice, but yeah, it's not one that I play too much of. Yeah. But
okay.
My number 3 this is the one I was alluding to while I was talking about Jak and Daxter, is Sly Cooper. I've loved stealth games. Splinter Cell is one of the best series like out there. And so when they made like a kind of a cartoony, like more upbeat one, I loved the first one. It's again with Jak and Daxter, it's my favorite one. I love the original because it's a straight just level by level stealth game. It's very linear. Whereas in the second one, you have like a hub world, and I'm like, why is there a hub? Like, I don't want to do this. But then honestly, I actually fell off after. No, I did play 3 also. I know they made like the fourth one, I think, or something like they made some weird. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, the first one has always been my favorite. So even just that one, I guess I'm being hypocritical as I left Last of Us off my list because I only like half of it, whereas Sly Cooper I only like about half of it. But whatever, I don't care. The first one I love so much. I actually just bought it on PlayStation because it was like $10, and they brought it to PS5. So I'm gonna play that soon, and I'm very excited to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a platformer whore, so I just love the first one so much that I had to put it on the list, even though I left off Last of Us for the same reason, but whatever. Yeah. Do you have any experience with the Sly games?
All right. Actually, surprisingly, probably not surprisingly, I haven't played Sly Cooper either, which is, it originally was a Sucker Punch game, and I love Sucker Punch. So you might have thought that I would have played that, but that was like 2002 to 2005. I think they made Sly Cooper. So that was just so long ago. Like, it was a whole different world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know people love Sly Cooper. I just never played it. Maybe that's something one of these days, if it's available. Maybe I'll go back and right that wrong.
Well, yeah, they just brought it to PS5. It was like $10 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a good one. Let me go ahead and get into my number 2 pick then. My number 2 pick is one that we just mentioned that you don't have on your list. Don't worry. I put it on my list. And it is The Last of Us. Of course, and I'm putting The Last of Us on there solely for number 1 and the DLC that came with that, because I enjoyed both quite a bit. The Last of Us 1 to me is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece game. Yep. I absolutely loved it. It was so good. That game alone justified owning a PS3 damn near. It was so great. Such an amazing story, such an amazing world, fun traversal, fun combat. I enjoyed the crafting mechanics too, picking up the stuff and, getting your little shanks and stuff like that. That was cool. It was a great game. I even enjoyed the little DLC with Ellie and the girl that, right before when the girl turned and then she realized that she was, well, that's kind of spoilers anyway. I'm not gonna go too crazy. But yeah, that was a great game. I really enjoyed The Last of Us 1. I did not actually play The Last of Us 2 yet because
really?
I was excited about The Last of Us 2, but then as you might recall, I forgot to put a timestamp on here. Professional podcasting here, sorry.
I should have done that.
No, it's okay. So, I was really excited about The Last of Us 2, but then, as you might recall, there was a huge leak, and everybody found out about a very big key event that happened that people didn't enjoy. So that happened, and I was like, oh, that kind of took away my excitement. And I ended up just kind of watching, kind of a playthrough, and I saw the end of the game, and I was like, oh, this ending is kind of trash too. I don't like this ending. What are they doing? And then people were complaining that they made you play as Abby, and it's like, I don't want to play as Abby. That's what other people were saying. So they were complaining about that, and there was just all this negative drama around it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to play it. But I actually do want to right that wrong. I have the game, and I plan on playing it sometime. It's on the backlog. I want to go back and actually play it and give it a fair shake, even though I know what's kind of going to happen. There's definitely things that I won't know because I didn't see the entire playthrough.
Yeah, I love, I agree. The first one is a 10 out of 10. I bought it on PS3. I bought it again on PS4, and I bought it on PS5, even though I waited on sale for PS5 because launching it at 70 without the online is bullshit. So I waited for that one to be on sale just out of principle. But I love the first one. I even love the show, other than there's a few episodes that aren't very good. It's perfect. There's nothing I have no complaints about the first game, but the second one, I just didn't like it. It was way too long. You basically play 10 hours as Ellie, then 10 hours as Abby, and then 5 hours is after all the shit that goes on in Seattle between the two. And I just didn't like it. It was paced poorly. The story tried being so, Sean's going to hate me for this. The story tried being so up its own ass and oh, this is why revenge is bad. I'm like, yeah, I fucking get it. I don't need 25 hours to tell me that revenge is bad. I didn't even care that the major thing that happened early in the game happened. I didn't care. I thought that was a cool device. I don't even want to even refer to it if no one's played it, so I don't want to spoil it, but I thought it was a cool moment. It was like a Game of Thrones type moment where it's like, well, stuff can happen. So I really enjoyed that part of the game, actually. But then, yeah, when you play 10 hours as Abby, it's the best reference to it that I saw on Twitter when it came out was like, Last of Us 2 is basically like if you had to play if you had to watch John Wick from the perspective of the guy who killed his dog. It's like, yeah, I don't give a shit about the guy who killed his dog. I want him to die. And so I don't care about Abby, and I don't want to play as Abby. She sucks. She's a terrible character. I don't even find her sympathetic. I don't care about any of the characters she lives with. I don't care about any of them. I don't like them. I don't want to play as them. And I get that some people are like, I'm Team Abby. She was in the right for this. I'm like, no, she fucking wasn't. She sucks. And so I just don't. There's a lot of moments in The Last of Us Part 2 that are great. It plays very well. It's a beautiful game. I have no complaints about any of that. It's the story. I don't care about it. When I initially finished it, I was like, it's like a 6 out of 10. And over time, I've thought about the bad, and it has decreased in score because I only think about the bad. I do actually want to replay it now that's remastered. I'll pay the $10 for the upgrade fee. I don't care. And I do want to play it again to see if I do have a different perspective on it this time. But where I'm at now, I didn't like it, but I will play it again to see if I'm like, you know what, I was a little harsh on it. Or if I'm like, no, I wasn't harsh enough on it. Like when I rewatched Iron Man 3 and I fucking hated it even more. But yeah. So yeah, but the first one, perfect. So I understand why it would be on both your lists. It barely missed my list. It's a perfect. I love the first one so much.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. What's
But
your number two? Maybe it's something I've played, I hope.
mine too, yes, I'm sure you have. If you haven't, I'd be very surprised. Is God of War. I love
Oh,
this series. It's the first one is still my favorite. We talked about it when we did our 10 favorite games of all time with Locke.
mhm.
The first one is my favorite. It's just a very basic revenge story of this guy got fucked over by his employer, and so he's just going on a revenge tour after what he made him do. And so I love it. It's amazing. The 2 and 3 are great. Love them. 2018 is my second favorite God of War game. That game is so fucking good. I love it so much. This like the one shot story kind of thing, and just learning about like Atreus it's such a cool story about why he's there with Atreus and what he's doing, and like I love it. It's a great game. Valhalla was good. It was just a little too long and it kind of dragged on. It missed a little bit. There was a lot of great about it, but the first one I felt was more impactful than Valhalla. But overall, it's an amazing series. There's no bad game. Even the Vita or PSP games I enjoyed. Like I enjoy it just overall. It's a great series. It's some games are worse than others, but there's not a bad game in this series. Is what I mean. But yeah, what do you think about God of War?
Yeah, God of War is obviously a great game. I think it won Game of the Year, didn't it, in 2018?
Probably. I
Believe
don't
so.
remember, but probably.
My history with God of War is limited, but I did play, of course, the 2018 PlayStation 4 God of War. I beat that game, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. It was a great story. The combat was a lot of fun. I had a couple minor gripes with it, like the weird RPG elements that they tried to add with like the armor system and stuff was
Yeah.
honestly kind of confusing to me. Like I'm looking at the
Yeah.
armor and I'm like, is this good? Like, does this make my character better or worse? Like, I honestly can't even
Yeah.
tell. Like, didn't really need all that, but it was fun combat. It was an awesome story. The graphics were also quite good
Yeah.
on that game, I believe. And I was pretty excited about playing God of War Ragnarok, the sequel, but I didn't play Ragnarok. What's funny, I bought the game. I bought it,
Yeah.
pre-ordered it because I was game sharing with a friend. So I mostly bought it so that he could play it. And I've told the story before. But
Yeah.
I didn't play Ragnarok because I heard that it was longer and that there was a lot of puzzles. And those were actually my two gripes that I had with the first game. I thought that it ran slightly long at the end there. Like I was ready for it to end. And they're like, no, we got to do more mountain climbing. And I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
And I hate the puzzles. So I didn't play Ragnarok, but that's a good pick. That 2018 game is freaking awesome.
Mhm.
So great pick, God of War. One of these days I will probably play Ragnarok. Are they making a third game? I wonder. What do you think?
Well, with how I'm not obviously going to spoil the ending, but with how it ends, they could, but they could also leave it as is. It's one of those things where it is open, but it could end where it is. There, but I'm sure they will because with how successful these first two were, I'm sure they're going to keep it going. I would be curious about where they take it, but I would be okay if they left it as is too. But
Okay.
also, after he's done the Greek gods and he's done the Norse gods, I want him to fight Jesus next.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, he should go to Israel and fight Jesus and stuff. Yeah. That'd be great. All right. So that was your number 2 pick, God of War. Let me go ahead and get into my number 1 pick. This is going to be a shocker, guys. Nobody's going to be able to guess that Midnight would have this as his number 1 pick. It's not a game that I talk about all the time, but my number 1 pick is going to be Ghost of Tsushima, Sucker Punch Productions, the best PlayStation exclusive of all time, bar none. I don't care what anyone else says. You're wrong. No, I love this game. Ghost of Tsushima is freaking amazing. What can you say about this game? It's absolutely beautiful. The world that they created, the way they did the navigation with the wind, and you can see all the flower petals, dude. The colors, dude. The pinks, the purples, the whites, the reds, the oranges. It's just so colorful. It's so beautiful. You got the snow biome at the top. It's freaking awesome. The story was great. The combat was phenomenal. Like I loved it. Like you mentioned earlier, how they have the weapon wheel and each one kind of correlates. Like you have the sword stance to take out the sword people. And then there's the shield stance to take out the shield guys. There's the spear stance to take out the spears. And then I think the last one is to take out brutes.
Yeah, it's like a heavy one. Yeah.
Yeah. So That was really well done, and it was fun. Like you get really good at the combat, and it gets fluid. Like you take out a sword dude, and then the next guy that you're about to is a shield, so you switch into your shield stance, and you cut them up with the little combo, the little 3-4 strike combo. Dude, it was so fun. I love that game. The characters are awesome. Shout out to Yuna. Yuna is awesome. Best girl ever. She's such a great character. And Jin Sakai, the main character, is awesome. Even his uncle or whatever, Lord Shimura, is awesome. The choice that you have to make at the end. It's funny. I played this game twice. It was my first ever platinum, my virgin platinum. It was only right for me to give my virginity to the ghost and get that first platinum because I love that game so much. It's funny. I played
platinum to it, I think.
Did you? It's not a super hard platinum. You just kind of got to clear out the map and stuff.
I'm pretty sure I did because I do like collectathons where it's just finish the map. I love those kinds of platinums. I think they're fun because it just keeps you.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. And like all the side content they had was pretty cool. Like I like finding the hot springs, and then he gets in there and he reflects on something that just happened.
Mm-hmm.
I like writing the haikus. The little bamboo strikes, those were a little difficult at times, hitting like
they were 5
or 6, but they're fun. Yeah. The duels were a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
The cinematics were so great. Like this game is just a masterpiece. So I beat the game twice, and both times I made the same choice at the end.
Oh really?
You would think that maybe I would have made the different choice the second time, but I was just so sure that this is the right choice, and I'm not going to spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was just so sure that this was the right choice. Well, I'll just say that I chose to spare a certain someone twice in a row because it just seemed like the right thing to do. But yeah, I love that game. The only gripe, if I want to throw a gripe, is that there isn't a lot of agency or choice and consequence, like you mentioned, Hodge.
Mm-hmm.
They have a narrative that they're going to tell, and that's the narrative. Like you can't really influence it much, and that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I respect it, and I love the story. So that was my number one. Ghost of Tsushima. Go ahead and hit up some thoughts if you want, and then give us your number one.
Yeah. Obviously I talked about it before, but I don't know if I said this before. This is my thought process of putting it at 5 was that it is the only one in the series. Cause I do like it more than Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper. So really I would probably have it at like 2 or 3, but with it only being the only one in the franchise, that's why I put it at 5
for now.
I'm so excited for this. Like, cause as we talked about, it is so gorgeous. I played it on PS4 originally, and then I upgraded to the next version so I could play Iki Island on PS5, and then I went back and played that. It was such a fun DLC. I don't know if you can hear that vacuum in the background. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
The dog opened the door, so I can hear the outside world now. Because I only cracked it. I didn't close it. But anyway, I love this series. So yeah, you definitely are obsessed with it for a good reason. It is so good. I feel like it doesn't get the love it deserves though. Like I feel like it's kind of a unsung hero of PlayStation. Like it doesn't get enough hype. I think it's so good. I don't really have a complaint with it. Really, like the one thing I'm sad I never played Legends. I never played that free DLC like Legends thing. I do want. I feel like I should at some point before 2 comes out. Maybe I'll go back and try it or something. But this series is it's so good.
Dude, when they announce 2 finally, we know it's coming. When they finally announce that at a showcase or whatever, I'm just gonna say, insert Donald Trump meme right here. I'm gonna come. It's gonna be so good, dude. I might put that little clip in the video. Dude, I can't wait for that game. It's gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, my number 1 though, I was actually sad when Sean had this on his list, but then he had to go because I would have loved to talk to him more about it. Is my favorite franchise of all time is Uncharted. I never finished Golden Abyss, which I probably should. The only one the only one I don't really like is Lost Legacy, just because I don't care about Chloe and Nadine. I don't care. The gameplay was very fun. The villain was unbelievably forgettable. That's actually my only complaint with Uncharted is most of the villains are really bad or just forgettable villains. But the gameplay is so much fun. The charm of Nate and Sully and even Elena and Chloe, like their charm is so good that they all play off each other perfectly. The variety of worlds that you go to, like you're up in the mountains in the second one, you're in the desert in the third one, you're at the pirate area of the fourth one is one of the best settings I've ever seen in a game. And the fourth one is just beautiful because obviously that was the next gen one, whereas the older ones were PS3. But Uncharted 1 was actually the first game I bought for PS3 when I bought a PS3. It was that and God of War 3, because that's why I bought a PS3, was play God of War 3. And I fell in love with it instantly. I bought my PS3 in 2010, I believe. So after I finished the first one, the next day, I think I had it. The next day, I beat it one day. I went and bought the second one and played it, and it blew my mind. And then the next year, obviously, I played 3. But yeah, I love this series. It's hard to even rank them. Like, they're all so good for different reasons. Like 2 and 4 might be my favorite ones, but yeah, I love this series, and I cannot wait to see what they do with it, if they do more with it. But honestly, I kind of, with the way 4 ends, I kind of hope they leave it alone with Nate. I don't want him to come back as like old man Nate, who's an alcoholic and hates his life, and like his daughter has to teach him the ways of life or some bullshit. Like, I just hope, if it is, it's just a good, I hope it's good but Nate is kind of what drives the series. So it's a little here and there, but I'm excited to see what they do with it.
All right. So that was number 1 for Hodge, Uncharted. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot to say on this one because this is not a franchise that I really got into much at all. I missed this franchise for some reason. I did pick up the Uncharted Collection remaster. I have the physical copy. I'm pretty sure I still have it back there. I started up the first Uncharted game, and I got not very far. I made it to like that submarine that you find or something, like near the beginning. So not far at all, but I don't know. Like, I just wasn't vibing with it. You know, it's a little bit dated and a little bit musty.
The first one does have the worst controls. It does get better with 2, I would say.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a lot of people's complaints, is they think the first one did. I thought it aged fine, but I'm a kind of person where if I played it in the moment, when I go back to it, I don't find it anything aged. I find it just how I remember it. But yeah, that's what I hear about the first one, that it didn't age as well as the others.
I might actually, one of these days, this might be sacrilegious, but I might actually just skip one and watch a story recap and start number 2 and play 2, 3, and 4 one of these days to try to get caught up. Of course, if you guys know, I have like a backlog of like 70, 80, 100 games. So it's going to be a while, but I would like to get to them one day.
Well, the thing that's nice about them too is that the fourth one's the longest one, and it's like 15 hours. Like, they're really short games. So honestly, it's like a thing of, if you woke up a Saturday morning and just threw it on, you'd have it beaten by the end of the day. Like, I love that about, because obviously I love shorter games, as I've talked about 100 times. But so it is a series, like, if you ever do want to play them, watching the recap of the first one's fine, I guess. But yeah, playing 2 through 4, those games are so good. I'm sure, I have a feeling you'd love them, but maybe not. I don't know.
All right. Well, that will do it then. That's our 5 through 1 favorite PlayStation games of all time. So we went through Sean's earlier. Just to recap here at the end, we got Sean had Resistance, Little Big Planet, The Last of Us, Uncharted, and Horizon. I had number 5 was Infamous, 4 Marvel's Spider-Man, 3 MLB The Show, 2 The Last of Us, and 1 Ghost of Tsushima. And Hodge, your number 5 through 1. You want to give it to us yourself? Go ahead.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, God of War, and Uncharted.
All right. Good list. PlayStation, of course, you know, they are the dominant console besides Nintendo for a reason. Yeah. They have great IP. They have great exclusives. There is no denying that. These are some great games, some great lists. So shout out to Sony, shout out to PlayStation. But yeah, that has been episode number 13 of Games Over Plastic. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here and enjoy our weekend. Hodge, any final thoughts as we ride off into the sunset?
Really, the only thing is, from this episode, I just remembered how many games I still need to play. Like, I need to play Sackboy. I need to play Spider-Man 2. I need to finish Forbidden West. Like, there's so many games that I need to go back to. And Metroid Prime, I want to play that too. Because, yeah, I would love to do an episode with Sean and Berto.
And Infamous Second Son.
And Infamous. Yeah, there's so many. Oh, man. I need to give my PlayStation more love. It's been a while since I've actually played. Literally, Helldivers is the only thing I've turned it on for.
Fire it up, man. It's right there.
Yeah, I gotta boot it back up. But I'm in a Switch renaissance right now, so I gotta I got to get through that, and then I'll go back to my PlayStation. Leave my Xbox in the dust for a little bit.
There you go. Yeah, well, there you go. It wouldn't be a good gaming podcast if you didn't walk away with it with a couple games that you need to play. I'm the same way. I want to maybe check out that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I want to play Infamous Last Light or whatever that DLC was.
Last Light, I think.
First Light.
I don't remember.
First or last. Some kind of light. I need to play that. And then maybe the Uncharted games. There's lots of stuff. I didn't mention, by the way, the Icky Island DLC for Ghost was also quite fun. I 100% at that.
It was great. Yeah, I really loved it.
But yeah, let me go. My final thoughts here is just I want to say thank you guys. As always, the listeners, we really appreciate your support. Likes, comments, shares, tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell your boss. All right. We appreciate you guys. And that's been it. This has been episode 13. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Please clap, everybody.
Please clap. Please clap.
Goodbye.
Bye.